So just a few words about 2019's GCSE results. We collect the data for independent schools at the Independent Schools Council. So our results were pretty amazing this year. 23% of all the GCSEs taken by independent schools were graded grade 9, the new top grade, 23% against 4.5% nationally. And there were a whole bunch of schools where for the first time grade 9 was the commonest grade awarded. 96% of GCSEs in our sector were passed, so that's a grade 4 or better, against 67% nationally. And that's good because many of our schools are not academically selective at all, they're comprehensive in intake, and some of those schools with a long tail of weaker pupils are still getting really, really good results, amazing value added. The school which hit the headlines this year was Michaela School in Wembley, and I wrote about them in my book, Much Promise, which attempts to explain why it is that they were likely, when I wrote it, why they were likely to get very good GCSE results with disadvantaged pupils. And it's an important story because this school and others like it, and there are several like it, are going to be influential. These are schools which have very tight discipline, which works. It's not inhumane, it's just, it ensures that the pupils behave and concentrate in lessons. Secondly, they have a narrow curriculum with a focus on the subjects that matter most for good progress, like obviously English, maths, science. Thirdly, they have a syllabus which is much more demanding than the normal syllabus in state and perhaps even actually quite a lot of independent schools. They've set out to teach to a higher level, particularly in Key Stage 3. So, I've been in, say, French lessons in Michaela where they're definitely teaching GCSE standard work in French to pupils aged 11 or 12. And finally, they have a very specific type of pedagogy which is based on knowledge organisers, writing their own textbooks, pupils behaving in a certain way in the classroom, and this works. It ensures that pupils learn in a happy but positive and determined environment. And it's paid off because this was the first year of the Michaela School's results and they were fantastic. Anything else to say about the GCSE results this year? Well, I think the decline of design technology continues as a very important trend. In a world where we believe that subjects like engineering are important, where we're interested in creativity, it's sad that DT, a really good subject, is falling rapidly, partly because it's expensive and hard to find good DT teachers. Secondly, modern languages at GCSE were up, so reversing the trend which has worried people so much in recent years. Very good news. And finally, commentators thinking about the GCSE results generally remain, as we all would be, concerned about the third of the students who failed English and maths. It's quite a big tail. And if you fail English and maths, you have to resit them the following year, probably at a FE college, and it's a significant problem for clearly many schools, but above all many individuals. And finally, we're still at an early stage with the reformed GCSEs, and people are quite rightly anxious about the fact that because we've gone over from modular to linear GCSEs, not something I would disagree with, but because we've gone over from modular to linear, in May, June this year, the average student was sitting 24 to 27 exam papers, 24 to 27 exams. Is that too many? Is that just an unrealistic and unnecessary number of exams for a 16-year-old to have to sit? So these are important questions for the Department for Education and Ofqual to think about. But having said all of that, In this year, 2019, many GCSEs were sat for the first time, many reformed GCSEs were sat for the first time. We're now nearing the end of the GCSE reform process, which was kicked off by Michael Gove in 2010. And thanks really to the good work done by Ofqual and the exam boards, everything went pretty smoothly, and that's important.